Good morning. Good morning. Java Delight will uplift you. Stay tuned. The show is about to begin. Grab your coffee. Stay tuned. This show is about to begin.
It's your show today.
I forgot again. Short-term memory loss. Sorry. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am so happy to be here. Today I get to introduce the wonderful, which side now? The wonderful, bold, bipolar boss from Ohio. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
You forgot the beard. That's my favorite part of me. You forgot the beard.
What about the beard?
All right, hold on. I'll do it again. Ready?
Okay. The bearded, bold, bipolar boss. Beautiful.
I love it.
Beautiful. I got
do it again. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do it anymore.
The beautiful.
God, he's annoying.
How are you guys this morning?
Good morning, Ilse. How are you this morning? I'm doing wonderful. It's good to see you. We actually have something special today, don't we? Before we dive into the full day, we have someone hidden in the background. He's used to crawling through. He's like, I'm the tough guy. He crawls. Marine crawls through the muck of life. He takes his sniper rifle out. He aims it at the problems of life and says, guess what, mother effer? Goodbye. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. We have the host of the veteran show on Delight Digital Cafe. It is Mr. David Brown.
What's up, everybody? How are we doing this morning?
What's up? Bro, even better now that you're here, and we are glad you are here today. So tell us a little bit. Tonight you have a show. 6 p.m. EDT, Eastern Daylight Time. Tell me more about it, buddy. What are we doing today? How has the show been going? You guys have had major success. I've been so proud of this group. And Dave, you've taken this under your wing and ran with it. Talk to us about that, brother.
So tonight's show, we're going to be interviewing another veteran business advocate, Alan Ray Mefford. We're going to talk to him for a little bit and get to know him a little bit and talk about what he does for veterans. But what we've been doing with the show is we've been bringing all kinds of organizations in, nonprofit organizations, resources for veterans. We've been bringing veterans in to talk about their experiences with the VA or reassimilating from service to being civilian life again, and just talking about stuff and talking about mental health, talking about, what people are going through. It's just been a blessing to have, the contacts and stuff that I had over the years that have so many people volunteer to do this with us, that it's been able for us to grow it and continue to build the community that we have. Although with that being said, we'd still like to keep getting out there to as many more veterans as we possibly can, so that we can keep pushing the word out there so that they're not alone. They don't feel alone. They know that the people out there that have been through the same thing, and that they can reach out and get some information from us too. Last week's show was 2 hours plus, was amazing. We celebrated the Marine Corps birthday the first hour, being 246. We look darn good, don't we? Hey. So, and then we did a Veterans Day special where we talked about just, stuff that's going on.
You look so good. You look so good for your age. 206. I never wish to got us to date. 246.
Yep.
Brother, you don't look a day over 46. I gotta tell you, those extra 200 years on you. Yeah, I love it. I love
It's-
it. So
it's that good living.
246 years. It is clean living, good living. And we have holidays coming up. You guys are going to be doing a lot for what the Marines do to spread positivity, love, joy, appreciation over the holidays.
Yep.
And that's what excites me is we're going to take, I laugh. So Dave, let me ask you, because Thanksgiving is coming up. Ilse, I know, doesn't really celebrate Thanksgiving. What is the holiday usually? Oh, you do? I am sorry. I thought that was an American patriotic. I thought it was okay.
It is, but we just took it to say thanks. I always have dinner with my kids, just so that we can know that we're grateful to have each other in our lives.
So, what does a normal Thanksgiving for the two of you guys look like? So, Dave, what does Thanksgiving look like for you and your family? Do you cook? Are you the turkey carver? Are you a stripper? Talk to me. What do you do?
Not the stripper.
Oh, I almost was gonna. I'm on my way, buddy.
Thanksgiving is a great time for us just to be together as family. We start the day off by having breakfast together with my wife and my kids. Then we watch the Thanksgiving Day parade, and then once that's over, we head over to my mother and father-in-law's. We usually bring a side dish or two, and my mother-in-law and my father-in-law cook the turkey. And a couple of other dishes that go along with it. And then we have my brother-in-law and his family join us. And so we usually have a house full of about 12, 15 people at my mother and father-in-law's. We watch a lot of football. We have a couple glasses of wine. And we also spend time talking about we're most thankful for this year. And, we talk about the prior year. It's a religious kind of experience when we talk about that kind of stuff, because, every year we're challenged with all kinds of different things. And, what really remains the same is that everybody in that room, we're still family and we still love each other. And, it's us against the world kind of a mentality. So, and that's special for me. It's special for my wife. It's special for my mother and father-in-law. So it's just great to be able to do that every year with them.
I love that. That's such a great thing. My family this year, we're changing the tradition, and we don't usually do that. We usually go to my aunt and uncle's, but with COVID this last year, my cousin passed away from COVID, and it was their daughter. And because of that, they don't want anybody in the house. They really want to just be alone this year and all that. So my family is going to be, we're just eating dinner at my mom and dad's house. Me, my mom, my dad. I think it's only going to be the three of us too, because both my sisters are going to their boyfriends' families for Thanksgiving. So this year's different, but I like that. I like the somberness of the quiet. I like being able to have the family just be able to sit there. And don't get me wrong, my sisters are going to call in and all that. But like you said, it's almost a religious experience. We're taking that moment to truly see why we are thankful and what we got out of this past year. But I always laugh. So Ilse, I don't know how South Africa does it, but in the U.S., Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, is the biggest drinking day of the year. I think it's funny.
Really?
Yeah,
absolutely. It is known that is the biggest drink. Wednesday before Thanksgiving is the biggest drinking day of the year. Thursday is Thanksgiving, so we know why everybody was drunk the Wednesday before. And then you go into Friday, which is supposed to be Black Friday. It's specials, it's sales, businesses open early, blah, 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 right? But the thing is, we have this drunken day, a thankful day, and then a day of just full of greed. I always hate that it's like a sandwich of negativity around it. Don't get me wrong, I like to drink on that Wednesday with my friends and all that, see people I haven't seen in years, but I still hate that it's we're all going to go get obliterated drunk, wake up to watch the end of the parade and see Santa, and then spend the rest of the day cheering at thankful things that we really don't think about the rest of the year. And then the next day, wake up to go push an old lady out of her shopping cart just so we can buy Christmas presents. I've never understood this time of year because of how those 3 days coincide with one another. And for me, I wish there was more we could do for that. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
It
Like,
does.
how
It
do
does
you-
make sense.
Like, Elsa, in your country, what do you guys do for, like, Thanksgiving?
Well,
like, how do you take care of it?
we-
Sorry,
we-
Bob said hi, and I haven't seen him in a week. He
Morning,
shocked me, and
Bob.
I want to make sure. Bob, we love you. I know you've been going through fucking hell lately this week, and I know this is a hard
Love
week
you.
for you. The passing of your wife and everything. I am sending you nothing but positive, loving energy, and that. Sorry, brother. I just had to make sure I got in there
Hi,
with that
Bob.
because
We love you,
he's
Bob.
such a love you, Bob. Thank you, guys. All right, so Elsa, back to you. I'm sorry about that.
So Thanksgiving is not a big thing in South Africa, but because I'm not big on Christmas and my children has got other family as well, I don't usually get Christmas with my kids. So about 2 years ago, we adopted the thing that we will do Thanksgiving as well. So all I do is, because that's the only family I've got, or the only family that I care about is my kids. So I on Thanksgiving, we'll have a meal, sit and just say what we're thankful for and everything, but we don't, and then South Africa got Black Friday as well, but I do not do that. I don't hang around in shops and buy things that I don't need, so I don't see. I've heard before what it looks like, but there's nothing in life that I want to buy that bad to mix with so many people at the same time.
Yeah. Like, look, I've never been like Dave. You don't strike me as a bar kind of guy. Do you go bar hopping?
Not anymore.
Well answered. Well answered.
Back in the day. Oh yeah. I mean, this next Wednesday coming up would definitely be a day that, you know, I would see people coming home for Thanksgiving that you don't typically see, and so you would get together and have a few too many and, you know, talk smack and all the world's problems. But yeah, I don't do the bar hopping thing anymore. I'm, you know, I'll have a couple where I'm at, and then most of my drinking's done here at home, so that I don't have to get a DWI or anything like that. Just don't want to have any of that. So, because that negativity can ruin a holiday real fast. So
fast, because it really can. Could you imagine? Hey, mom, I know I'm your like oldest kid, and I should be able to do this on my own, but I need you to come get me out of jail. What do you mean you need me to come get you out of jail? I've been drinking and driving. I tell you all the time, come get me if you need that. Yeah, one of those. You don't need that. That changes the holiday energy. Keep yourself going in the right direction on that. I only ask because I'm not a drinker, and like you said, you're catching up with old friends. But the thing is, it gets smaller and smaller, and the crowd changes every year too, because people start having kids, people move away, all of that stuff. People have to work. But like for me, it's always been that Wednesday before. I always hated it. It's because I see people I haven't seen in years, and the bar scene is not my scene. I'm told I have a punchable face. So whenever I go to the bars, why are you both nodding so heavily on that? Yeah, I can see it. Oh, I would want to punch you in the face.
That's awesome.
I want to punch you in the face, Brandon. Yeah, that makes sense. I see it, and I got you both on that one. God.
Hey,
yeah.
You know what they say about people with punchable faces, right? They also got a face for radio.
Hold on. So, guys, as we're doing this,
I thought he was gonna mute you. He usually mutes the people. Like, just take.
I'm like, no, bye.
You know, I'm just playing with you. I just had to do it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's a good one. I love that. I bring that up because I've never liked it. I've been in like 9 fights my entire life, and 7 of them I've gotten my nose broken. And that's why I do have a face for radio. I think that's why I have a punchable face. Like my nose looks like it has a target on it. It's red, so
you got to keep your hands up.
Bob and weave, eh?
Wait, see, but Dave, I get it. I got to be like this to be like, come on. But the thing is, you know you're getting in a fight. That's one thing. You turn around and someone like clocks you. You're like, what the F did I do to deserve that? And that's why I don't like the bars. I swear, I walk in and I have this energy that's like a positive energy already that wants to be a light to the world. And these guys see me and they're like, fuck him. And like, they just want to fight me in their drunken state. And I don't know why. Every year around this time, I've gotten into some weird thing. It doesn't happen every year, but it happened enough in my younger years that now I'm at Wednesday, I curl up in a ball and cry all day and just remember the traumas of my life.
That's why you need to drink. Let me drink.
I got a product for you to try that'll help you through that. This will help you get through your moods, maybe make your day a little bit brighter. So when you curl up in a ball, pull out one of these packets and mix it with your coffee, and you'll be just great.
I have never heard of that. Where do I go to get one of those, Dave?
Well, I would say that you go to Delight Company Cafe. and look at their CBD, and you can order it online.
I love it. What a great promo. He did that without any enthusiasm from me or anything. He did it all on his own. So, Dave, for that, brother. I love that. So Dave has the permission by me, but it's up to Ilse. I gave Ilse the rights to the show for the first half hour today, and then when I saw Dave, I needed to bring him in. Ilse's going to run the show, and I'm going to sit here and let her take control. So Ilse, can Dave sit with me, and I just move you into the big screen, and you take over?
Welcome.
And Dave, if you need to move for work, let us know. Just pull yourself out. Just like you don't have kids anymore.
I'm off today, so I'm going to hang out and see what's going on. You may see me walk away for a minute because it is coffee time this morning, so I might need a refill. But that's part of the show. But before we move on to the show, one of the other things I wanted to say about Thanksgiving for my family is my mother-in-law. She grew up on a farm. And so she grew up with 6 siblings. And so it meant more to her even for Thanksgiving because every year was completely different than the year before, based on weather, based on, rain, all those types of things that can damage a crop and equipment, all of that kind of stuff. So coming from that aspect, it's really built that thankfulness into my family, and I am blessed to have her in my life. And I that's one of the things that I really love the most about her is her being able to share that with us, and so that my kids, when they look at everything that we have and how thankful they are for the things that we have as well. And so, it is, like I said earlier, it's like a spiritual thing for our family, and I wish that type of experience for everybody when it comes to having Thanksgiving. I've moved beyond the Pilgrims and the Indians and that kind of stuff. It's all about celebrating the harvest, celebrating what you have, and celebrating what you have as who's around you still. And so I just want to pass that on and give people another perspective, a way to look at it. So
I love that.
Me too. I love that. I love the way you said that. I don't think people realize that we've got a lot to be grateful for because of what's going on around us. And sometimes you need something like Thanksgiving just to show you what you've got.
Yeah, it's a me world. It's a me world. And you forget about your supporting cast. And if you forget about your supporting cast and don't love on those people, you will be me. And it will be all you. And it gives you a day out of 365 to sit down and say, hey, I'm thankful for you. I love you. Thank you for being in my life, and thank you for blessing my life.
Amen. So, Dave, before we dive into Ilse sing, give me a name, just a person, a thing. And Ilse, I'm going to do the same for you, because next week we are going to be passing along gratefulness. What would you guys be willing to say? Give me someone or something you are thankful for before we even get there. I'm going to do this all week now, just so you know. Tomorrow, you guys better be prepared for it. Everybody write your thankful thing. Just even if it's like, I'm thankful that I don't have to drive in the rain today. I'm thankful that my wife woke me up to a blowjob. I don't know. Make me laugh, but
you lucky dog.
I don't have a wife. So,
that's a good one.
I don't have a wife, so I didn't wake up to a blowjob. It was just hard and by myself. It was not a good combination, so let me leave it there. But guys, tell me, where are you thankful today and let's dive into this fun day because we have a week of being able to look at what we're thankful for. Dave?
Well, I have a lot, but the first thing that I'm going to throw out there is I'm thankful for you, Brandon, and for us getting connected this year to be able to start this Victor Tango podcast, to be able to get out the word to veterans and start peeling away the onion to help with mental health and positivity and that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm going to say. And it's not just because I'm on the show. It's because that's one of the things that I'm really thankful for. I could go into a ton of them, but that's my first one.
I have to be honest, Dave. I was going to say I'm thankful for you. You took on the role of Victor Tango, and that's such a big need that I can never understand because I haven't been a veteran. All I can do is say thank you for it. But the thing is, I can provide wherever you are a chance to have people who do know the pain, who do want to help people and give them a voice. And that's all I'm grateful because you saw that and you 100% ran with it. So Dave, thank you for the show that you're putting on. Tonight, it is going to be Victor Tango, 6 p.m. EDT, Eastern Daylight Time. We have an amazing guest tonight. Tonight's a night you're not going to want to miss, guys. Make sure you're sharing that because without our veterans, we wouldn't even be able to have this conversation. So thank you, Dave. Thank you.
The other thing is you don't have to be a veteran to watch the show or be a part of the show. There's lots of information on there that is good for you to know about the veteran world, or if you have friends that are veterans that you could watch the show and then be able to say, hey, you got to check this show out. These guys, they really know what they're doing. They do care about what's going on, and they have a heart for veterans, and they have a lot of knowledge about it. And I think it's important for you to have this resource and pass that on to them. So you don't have to be a vet. Although it is 100% veteran talk, we do talk about all veterans issues, but we would appreciate it if anybody would watch the show and get information so that they can pass it on to family and friends.
Especially if you know a veteran, this is an episode you're going to want to share to them. So do yourself a favor, take tonight's episode, share it to a friend, and just say, hey, thanks for being a vet. I found this and was thinking of you.
I want to say hi to Brian Michael from the Edge of the Grave. Good friend of mine. What's going on, Brian? Sounds like you're dealing with some issues there, brother.
He's got COVID.
Oh, COVID.
Add too.
Just had a scare for a couple of days myself, so just coming out of that myself, but didn't end up with the COVID. So,
poor man it seems like his whole family got it, and they're all lying on the edge of their beds. I'm trying to think of that Linkin Park song. In the end, it doesn't even matter. But that's not the song I wanted, so we're going to change the subject. Elsa, what are you thankful for?
I'm like, what?
So my first person that I'm grateful for, seeing that we're doing this the whole week, I'm going to start with my daughter, Eileen, who has helped me the last 3 years when I decided to get divorced and get out of a abusive relationship, and being I want to say attacked and false accusations and all that. My daughter has been the one that has been through with this 3 years trials and tribulations that I had with my ex. She was my best friend, my confidant. She always stood by me, and I am very, very grateful for her.
I love that. All right, Ilse, it is your show for the next 30 minutes, and then our guest is going to be here. Dave, if number 2 decides to appear, do us a favor, run away. Do not do it on air, because I don't need to have random viewership numbers go up because of weird fetishes people have, okay? Let's just be honest. Ilse, dive in, sweetie. This is yours now. I'm excited. Ilse's playing the next half hour all by herself, guys. I'm so excited.
Surprise. Ilse knows that the people in our community are very good with riddles. So we are going to see who's good with riddles. So everybody has to answer in the comments. I'm going to give you the first riddle.
Oh, no, my internet.
Don't lie. Don't lie. Don't be a liar.
I'm just bad at riddles. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll private message you the answers. Okay. So the first riddle is, what has a bed but never sleeps and runs but never walks?
All right, so I'm going to repeat it. What has a bed? What's up, TJ from Canada? Hell yeah! It's a boot time. Oh yeah, I love it. So what has a bed but doesn't sleep and runs but never what?
Walks.
But never walks. All right, so it has a bed but doesn't sleep and runs but never walks. Ooh, Dave, any guesses, my friend? Like, you and I should talk this out a little bit.
I don't have anything that's popping in my head quite yet. So
Don't worry, Panda's apparently he knows everything.
I'm blown away.
Panda is correct. That is the answer.
And so is Stuart Long. Don't give the answer right away. Make them struggle for a minute. Think they didn't get it.
Okay, so let's try a different one. That was one
I do
of the
like
easy ones. That was
Mama Gotti. Mama Gotti has a good one here too, because when you think about it, flowers, they're in a bed, but they never lay down. And they're always running because they're growing and stuff like that. And they never, yeah, go ahead. Next one. You did good. Well done, guys. Well done. Mandy Adams says a lake, a river. Guys, good job, guys. Really good work. I had no idea.
Gate. So Panda has got one. Let's see. What can be touched but can't be seen?
Women.
Melissa Maroc.
Woo, women. I'm with Brandon on that one.
What did you say?
Woo! You didn't hear Brandon? He said women.
Oh, God. Okay, that is not the answer, but it's a good answer.
I said it, and Dave and I both just looked at each other like, oh, shit, why did he do that? I didn't even think.
Okay. Say
Mama
the
Gotti
question
out
again.
the gate. Mama Gotti is okay. Mama Gotti's got this one.
All right.
The answer
All right.
is your heart.
So say it again. Give us the clue, because I made the joke way too fast. You can touch it, but you can't. What?
What can be touched but can't be seen?
Mandy Atterbury.
Your cheese spot. Mandy's got it right. This riddle just got a new answer.
Your feelings. Your feelings. These are great answers. All right, Elsa, give me another. Give me another one. I'm ready for you.
So
we're gonna take this.
What becomes white when it's dirty?
What was that?
What
That
becomes
seems racist.
white when it's dirty?
What becomes
not
white
right.
when it's dirty?
White when it's dirty. Okay. A politician.
No, but that's a freaking good answer. Stuart.
All right. A cardiologist would disagree. I agree. Thank you, Stuart. So what becomes white when it gets dirty?
Yes. Let's see who gets this. Okay, Stuart, you're not allowed to play with.
Hey, don't give the answer. Let other people. I'm gonna cover. How do I cover part of this so Ilse doesn't see the answers yet? Ooh.
Stuart just comes out and he goes like, let me just a lie.
That's a good one. I didn't even
Little
think
lie.
of that. And then the answer is a chalkboard.
That's the correct answer.
It's been so long since I've been in school. I don't even think we had chalkboards back then. They weren't invented yet.
They used blood. They would sit there. They'd be like, all right, kids, poke your fingers today.
Rocket and chisel.
Rocket and chisel. Let's do the alphabet today. All right, Teach. Here we go.
Okay, I'm not done.
You're not that old. You're not that. Okay, so I've got one. What has a room but you can't enter it?
What has a room, but I cannot enter it?
Yes.
What has a room, but I cannot enter? Sorry, almost went perverted again. I have no idea. All right, let's play it. Dave, let's talk this out. What has a room? Stop, don't give me the answer. I can see it, but don't give it away. Other people can't see his answer yet. So
I saw
That-
it.
That makes sense.
It
I
makes
suck
sense,
at this
but
game.
I suck at this game.
Ooh. My girl says a dollhouse. That's a good one. It's a
That
good
is
one.
a good one.
Mandy Atterbury says the dark web, the locked
Wow,
doors.
Mandy.
Mandy, that's a good answer. And then locked doors in a hotel.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
That's
you're
what you told me.
technically right, but why are you trying to go into someone's locked door? Has anybody ever experienced that? You're in a hotel room and somebody walks in and they actually had a key to get in your room?
No.
I've had that once.
Really? What did you do?
Yeah. I sat on the bed and looked at them, and they looked at me, and they go, "Is this room da 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 da?" And I'm like, "Yes." And they were like, "Yeah, I think we have the same room." And I go, "Want to cuddle?" And that's when he shut the door and walked away. I didn't think he'd stay. I mean, one of us was getting a new room.
Here's a good one. Chat room.
That's a good one. That's
That
a
is
good
a
one,
good
Pantsu. No, those doors to the neighbors' rooms. I get it. They are always locked. Yeah, that would be creepy. Have you ever knocked on those? Like knocked to go into the other person? I do. I want to meet my neighbors sometimes. I'm just like, hi.
Hello, you have brown sugar. Hello.
Hey, meet your creepy uncle Brandon. He's got candy in the next room for you.
And they saw the white van down in the bottom. The white van with no windows. What's your favorite candy, neighbor?
The answer on that riddle was mushroom. Can you, if you know the answer, don't answer first, please. I'm gonna change the rules of my game.
No, you can.
Come on, Brandon. You can come back.
I'm gonna. What? Okay, so I've got another one. What has a bottom at the top?
Sorry.
What has a bottom at the top?
What has
What?
a bottom? What has a bottom at the top?
Has a bottom at the top.
Yes.
Oh. Rock. A rock. Rock bottom. You have to click. No. Okay.
No, it's not that. Hello, Fernando.
Did you see her nix that, Dave? I needed a new co-host with me on this just to help me with her. Look at her like nix me on that. She's like, no.
She just discarded you like the paper or something. She's like, no,
Right?
that ain't gonna be it.
No.
Don't talk. No, you don't have to.
Right, you're done, Brandon. Hashtag mute. So my
I think
girl
I stopped you guys.
Fernando is a good answer. All right, so
Fernando
give the question again.
Okay, so we're gonna give the question again. So the question is, what has a bottom at the top?
What has a bottom at the top?
I have no idea.
It's
A
not
cigarette?
a cigarette.
That's a good answer, though, Mama Gotti.
It is.
Are
It is a
are
very
you
good one.
smoking at that moment that you thought of that? Just curious. What has a bottom at the top? Oh, I have no idea. Give me. Can you give? Since nobody's. Oh, a beer. Mandy,
It's not a beer.
oh, the whiskey bottle when I get my hands on it.
Your legs.
Also not a good answer, Panda.
Your legs.
That's a great answer, Dave.
Your legs.
What did he say?
Your legs.
Because
How did you know that?
that was a great one.
Because my wife heard me and she texted me the answer.
Wow! Congratulations, Dave's wife.
Mrs. Brown. I love it.
Mrs.
Oh my!
Brown got the answer.
What a good answer! Wow, I didn't see that one coming. All right, Elsa, give me another one.
That's why I bring her everywhere with me. She's
What
my better
has a
half.
neck but no head?
Has a neck but no head. My wife that wasn't there this morning. Dave covered his face so fast.
Oh.
He's like, oh. What has a neck but no head?
It's not a bottle, but that's a freaking good answer. I like Brit's answer.
Well, because a beer has a head inside the bottle, so then that doesn't classify, right?
Right, I agree with you, Dave. All right, so it has a neck but no head. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Nope, that's not right. He has no neck and all head.
True. He's all neck and no head. No, all head and no neck.
Right? All right.
Circumcised, you know.
Oh, a circumcised
That's
Brit.
the same direction as Brit's answer.
A neck and yeah, Dave, secretly yell to your wife again. Be like, what has a neck but no head?
But no head.
It's
Sure.
not a bottle. Oh, that's correct. Your wife's very clever.
Did she
He
say
didn't
that?
do it this time. I did it.
What did you? I do not believe you.
I did it. V-neck,
headless-
turtleneck. That's where I got it from.
The headless
V-neck,
horseman.
turtleneck. Then also, he didn't have a neck either.
That was a good one though.
That
No,
was-
the headless horseman had a neck. He had no head though.
He had no head.
What flies without wings?
Time.
Me,
That was very quick. That wasn't a difficult one.
Fernando. What flies but doesn't have wings? Fernando. Fernando, did you get your power back, handsome? I want to make sure you're doing well. Fernando got sick this week too, so I'm sending him good vibes. I haven't seen Bob throw any answers in here, and I know Bob's going to have some good answers for us too. Oof. All right, Elsa, do you have another one, or did you freeze? Because it looks like you froze biting your lip. Did you freeze? Don't answer me if you froze. All right,
Don't
cool.
answer
I think
if
she
you froze.
R.I.P. Ilse's power. Like, I think we should. Here, hold on. If I do this. Oh, she has a blackout again. If I do this. And Storm just hit out my electricity. She sent me a thing. Hold on. We're going to take a screenshot of this and send that to her and thank her for being here with us today, because that was pretty dang funny. That was the perfect way she went out. And then everybody left us. Everybody, like all the power went out. So I guess I'm in charge now. You and I are going to have some fun, Dave. Are you ready for this?
Well,
What did you say?
I need to get a refill of coffee real quick, and then I'll be ready.
You got it, buddy. Go get your refill of coffee, and I'm going to start I'm going to have some fun with this. Are you ready? Oh, shit. Oh, she froze. Blackout again. Go ahead, Dave. You're good, handsome. So, guys, now that it's just me, let's have a real conversation. And I don't know how to explain this to you guys any other way. But no, not doing that. I almost read the wrong thing. Where does a wasp like to go for lunch? Where do wasps like to go for lunch? Any ideas? The bee store. Just in case you didn't know. The bee store. Why would doors do well on social media? Because everyone's always looking for their handles. All right. This was Ilse's time, and I'm sorry to say her internet crashed out. She went through a whole bunch of blackouts again, and we're here together. So I want to talk to you guys about just, I guess, what we're going to do this week. Next week, we have the What Now? So what we got this week, we have Victor Tango coming up tonight. If you have not really checked it out, without Dave here, I want to make sure I say these things because he's such a great guy. But the truth is, Victor Tango's a show that if you've ever known a vet, they've been through types of situations that most of us can't understand. Most of us don't know what it's like to be alone, quiet in that silence. And I'm sitting here today, and I was journaling this morning, and Victor Tango was on my heart. And I was writing about my pains and my traumas and just trying to figure out where they come from, just as a normal human. We all have them. Nothing special, nothing different about me, but we all have these pains and traumas that we deal with. And I literally was sitting here, and as I'm writing, it hit me that our pains and traumas are like as a kid. When you're alone in silence and you're sitting there, and all of a sudden you hear a noise in the other room. You hear a closet doing something, that you hear a noise in the closet. You hear something going on, and you don't know what it is. You start to create these fears. Or let's go to the basement. Do you remember in Home Alone when he's in the basement and he's scared of the noises in the basement? All that? That's our traumas. It comes from our stomachs. And we have these deep down inside just pains that we feel. And we have these fears that are just traumatic experiences we've established in ourselves that turn around, and it makes you feel like you're inadequate. It makes you put things out there. It makes you see things that are not actually happening. You create a reality inside you that is just not true. Our pains and our traumas are things that we hold on to, and those noises that we hear are things that come around us every single day that we let influence our dedication to ourselves. And the way we stop those pains, the way we stop those traumas, the way we fix ourselves and really start building our best self up is we turn around and start to actually put a light on those situations. We put a shining representation of who we are on all of those. And that way, those noises as kids that distracted us are no longer there. Those noises that brought us to a point of fear, anxiety, or traumas that brought us to our knees in tears as kids no longer come from the basement. They literally go on and fill us up with positivity and love. God, the comments are going off here. Hold on. Let me sit here. Let me see what's going on here. Hey, girly. And then I know who that's for. It is for Miss Grace Gotti. I want to thank you for being here, Miss Grace Gotti. It is such a pleasure to have you. Thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing today. You are amazing. If I understand correctly, you are Mama Gotti's mom. And so you'd be Mama Gotti. And that's all I got to say about that one is you are the Mama Gotti. Stuart Lone Wolf says, whilst the veteran world is not something I'm connected with, it is always worthwhile getting an insight into the struggles and victories of others. Stuart Lone Wolf phenomenally said, my friend. I'm sitting here in a car with 2 cups of coffee, and then Devil Dog. Our guest tonight told me he struggled with PTSD for 40 years, not even knowing what it was. And that's our guest for Victor. Go ahead, buddy.
That's real. That's real. You look at somebody like myself who served back in the late 80s, early 90s. We didn't talk about mental health back then. And we thought mental health was just people who were freaking crazy. You know, the ones that walk down the street talking to themselves, answering themselves. The signs in the middle of, the street that say the end is near and all that kind of stuff, right? So that's what you thought having mental health was an issue. We didn't know what PTSD was. It comes with a lot of different terms from the different conflicts that have been out there, from shell shock to fog of war. But you didn't see an actual physical injury like a bullet hole or shrapnel or any of that stuff, but you still came out different, and the different not being good, different being that you have these issues of reacclimating to society. And so going 40 years without knowing it is not hard if you're not connected to the VA or connected to the world of mental health providers or anything like that. So I went probably a good 15, almost 20 years before I figured out what was wrong with me. So it's not that hard for somebody to do that. So,
and that's the thing I think a lot of people don't understand is just because you can't see a bullet wound, just because you can't see the missing of an arm or a leg or something like that, it doesn't mean that they didn't have traumas. It doesn't mean that they didn't deal with situations that were much more. And to have a mental illness, like you said, even in the military, you guys would associate mental. It was just how we were brought up. Is those are the guys that don't have enough. They don't. have the strength. They don't have the this. They're not tough enough or whatever it may be. They just broke. But the thing is, it's not just that. Grace Gotti is actually Mama Gotti's daughter. So you're not Mama Gotti. You are actually Baby Gotti. So you're Baby G. What's up, Grace? Nice to see you, and thank you for tuning in today, Mama Gotti. Thank you. She is mortified that you think she's old. I have no idea. Your emoji picture's a cat. I can't determine who you are. I'm sorry. I really apologize. You know what they say about assuming. You make an ass of you and me. Now look what I just did. It blows my mind when people don't take PTSD seriously. It's such a no-brainer to me that certain experiences, especially traumatic and at times prolonged, will have such a huge impact on you. And truth be told, that's 100% correct. It's one of these things where we do not take PTSD as seriously as we should. Like, Dave, you've been dealing with this and you've been a veteran for a while. How many vets' mental health is not taken as seriously as somebody who maybe lost an arm and all that? How many times do you see that the situations are twisted because of not actually having a foundation to get fixed the right way?
A lot. Be honest with you, it's a way more than what people would think or expect. I would say out of 100 people that come out with PTSD, I would say at least 75% of them or even higher don't know how to deal with it, what it is, or how they got there. And that's, so they deal with all this, trying to assimilate and figure it out, but they just don't think the same way. Their brain's not wired the same way. There's different things that control their way of thinking, which didn't happen before. So it's way more prevalent than what people would like to admit or you think that is true. And part of it too is when I was in, we didn't have mental health assessments. We didn't have any of that type of stuff when we were active. So if you came back from a conflict area, they didn't sit down and over the next 6-8 weeks, once you got back, didn't have you sitting down with a counselor to talk about how things are going, or are you noticing any changes or any of that kind of stuff. So you didn't know what was wrong with you. You just came, like I shared before, you came home and you were on the street the next day. And what do? You just try to figure out what life's like. You try to go back to being who you were before, but you're not. And you can't get back to that person because you've been changed forever. One of the things too that people don't understand and is prevalent in mental health too is there's a thing called ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. Now this is prior to becoming an adult, and for veterans it's prior to them getting into the military. So what type of experiences do people have as a kid? So did you grow up in a home with an alcoholic or drug addicted family member? Did you grow up in a household with somebody who physically, verbally, mentally abused you? Did you grow up in a home where you were sexually abused? Did you always wonder where your next meal was coming from? Did you have fear for your life when you lived at home? All these types of things build into that, where your parents separated, divorced. All these things add to your mental health. And as you grow older, especially for a male, the science behind your brain maturing is your frontal lobe, which is your reasoning area, doesn't fully develop until you're into your late 20s, early 30s. Some people say into your 50s, like me. I say that in jest, of course.
Yeah,
not really.
Because you're not 50 yet.
Oh yeah, I am. I'm 50. I'll be 52 in a couple of weeks. So
you don't look it.
But anyhow, back to what I was saying is that, so all of this is done prior to that, and then you throw in the military on top of that. So it's like, that game of straw on a camel's back. It's the last straw kind of thing. And then you get to a point where it keeps pounding and compounding and compounding. And so now you have people like myself who have had adverse childhood experiences, plus the trauma from the military. plus trauma after the military. So it's compounded what they call a chronic. So I have chronic PTSD, which means it's always going to be there. It's not going to go away. And that's where you got to learn the tools to be able to do that. And just so you know, I'm not just spitting out words. My buddy Brian,
Sorry, I took it away from you.
That's not a joke. I know the real Dave. Brian and I have been friends for years, and he's seen the real me. He's heard the real me. He's seen the things that I've been through. We've talked a lot through that. He is a good friend, a brother more like. So thanks for putting that out there, brother. Love you. But it's true. I mean, and these are the things that people talk about. Is the mental health piece is so easy to throw that away because we don't know that many people that deal with that, when in reality our society is creating more and more people with mental health issues than it has in the past. Even with your parents spanking you, even with your parents being together but fighting in front of you all the time, it's creating more with the society that we have today by the single family homes, our single parent homes, to the way that poverty is, the thing that's going on in the world. It just puts way more stress on one individual versus two doing it together. And so a lot of these issues are being pressed on these people prior to them getting to service. Now you get into service, and what's service like, right? What's service like for you? Well, you get to boot camp, and it doesn't matter what branch of service you're in, the yelling starts. And the reason why the yelling starts is because they have to create a high stress environment for you to see if you will be able to overcome the stressful environment and be able to produce at a high level in a stressful environment. And that's what boot camp's all about. Some are worse than others. Marine Corps boot camp is hell. I'm not going to lie. And is crazy. Back when I went in, they could put hands on you. I don't know if they're still doing that. But getting your butt kicked wasn't uncommon to see happening in a boot camp. But with all this mental health stuff going on, how do you come home and then everybody sees you as the same person that you were when you left?
Yeah.
But you're not. You've changed.
Right.
And life continues to be that way for you. And you keep trying to be that guy that you were before, or gal, and you're not. And it won't ever be exactly the same. So that's where we come in with the tools and the resources and stuff like that to be able to do that. So
no, take your time. So I want to actually dive into that a little bit more before the guest gets here today. You speak with a lot of people about, like, a lot of vets dealing with their PTSD, dealing with their issues that they're having. Pantsu, often mental health, people say mental health isn't taken seriously because you can easily fake it. But if someone is in a wheelchair, do you also assume that is faked? Probably not. And I dive on that because of the fact what you're doing is providing people not just the tools, but you're actually helping them see the best of themselves, because those tools aren't something where you're teaching them how to build a house. It's the tools to be able to turn around and help yourself know that you're building up your best self, that house that's in you. With the veteran services that you guys provide and you help, at being a vet, how have you seen people reaching out? Because I know you guys have had people reach out. Brian and I have talked about it. Not Brian with a Y, Brian with an I, or I'm sorry, Devil Dog. But like, how have you guys seen people reaching out? Have you seen that your show has been able to connect with people in a way where they're starting to open up and want to have the conversation about mental health and bring that attention to helping themselves?
Oh yeah, I'm going to use an example of a gentleman who works part-time at the same place that I work at. He's a Marine who served around the same time as Brian, Tracy, and I did. And he's going through similar problems. And his first contact, once he heard that another Marine worked at the same place, he came and found me, and we had a conversation about it. And I told him about this show. he came on and watched the show. And as a matter of fact, he was on last week when we did our celebration show and all that stuff. And he's here every week talking and hearing what's going on. And then I hear from him later about how this is helping him be able to realize what's going on in his life, that it's not something that he can change without help, and that he needs resources. And the likelihood of it going completely away it's not likely. And once you come to terms with that and come to terms with the tools and resources that you have to do your best when those things come to improve your livelihood, then you can live a better life. And that's the whole purpose, is to be able to do that. And so somebody like that, getting them information so that they don't have these issues and times where they're so depressed and down in the dumps that they're contemplating ending their life or something like that, because they don't like who they are anymore, because they're not the person who they were before. If we can stop one person from doing that, this is a success for me. The more people that we can do that for, obviously, the more successful it is for us. But it's having somebody that they can talk to, somebody who been there, done that. A phrase that we use all the time in the service was "been there, done that," got the T-shirt to prove it, or the war wounds, or whatever you want to analogy, put it in there. But having somebody who's been through it is a huge piece for veterans when they want to let their guard down and open up to talk about, especially mental health, because it's such a taboo subject with military veterans.
Now, you've been in many different areas with the military vets. So with that, Dave, can you tell me a little bit about why? I know this is an opinion. I don't want anybody to take this as Dave is giving the answer and then we get in trouble. But like, what are your thoughts on why they're not taking the mental health side of it as seriously? Like, you lose an arm, they're making sure to get you replaced, everything bandaged up. But like, the mental health side is almost like, hey, good luck.
It's because it was said in the chat before, it's not a seen thing. And the unfortunate thing is, because it's not a seen thing, as in you can see it, feel it, touch it, know that it's missing or whatever, deformed, things like that, it's easy to say, well, I can't see it, then it's not real. We're in a world of tangible things where we have to be able to touch it and feel it for us to have faith in it. But those of us that have mental health issues, we know how real it is. We know what it's like to be up all night because our nightmares or our mind can't shut off. We know what it's like to try and deal with people that are complaining about their coworker being 5 minutes late. Like, who cares, really? It's not the end of the world. You're not going to lose your life over it. So it's not that big of a deal to you, but it's nothing to me. I don't even want to hear about it. Just go do your job. That's I don't have the same level of empathy for that nonsense, what I call nonsense, which could be higher for somebody else's level of stress. It's not stressful to me because are bullets flying downrange? Are you in fear for your life? Any of that happening? Well, then you and I aren't thinking on the same level when it comes to that in the first place. So this kind of thing is going to go away. It happens, whatever. So it's all good the rest of the way. But with that being said, go ahead.
Oh, no, I actually agree with you 100%. It's something that is almost swept under the rug a lot. And that's where bringing it to the light, it's something that more veterans need to be able to know they can come to the light with it. They need to see the community that's being built there. And I mean that as in like that camaraderie, that hoorah, that cheering for one another is one thing. But when you're having that moment where you're up late at night and you can't sleep and you're stuck in this negative mindset, knowing you have a community of individuals around you who have been through it that say, hey, keep going, that's essential. And I commend you for being willing to take on those conversations and being willing to be there for your fellow brothers and sisters in arms. And thank you, Dave, because with Thanksgiving coming up, we all should be thankful for not just our military, but for the ones that have served and are overseas or at home now and their families, because till you've lived it, you don't understand. And like you said, that 5 minutes late for work is one thing. Imagine bullets going over your head. Change your 5 minutes late for work. So Dave, are you going to stick around with me since Ilse got booted because of the internet?
Oh, I'll stick around. I got coffee. I'm ready for this.
I love it. All right. So I'm going to read the bio, and I'm going to bring in our guest today. His name is Eric Grundhoefer. And if I mispronounce that, Eric, let me know. Did I mispronounce it? I'm looking at you in the background. Yeah. He says, yeah. Luckily, he's a handsome son of a bitch. So I'm going to be able to just like be nice to him the whole time. And hopefully he'll forgive me and tell me the right way to do it. He is a successful CEO of Royal Reputation. Eric is passionate about helping people become the best version of themselves. After all, today's digital age is all about building a strong online presence. And Eric is just the industry expert you need in your corner to help you achieve your goals. When Eric founded Royal Reputation, his mission was clear. He wanted to share his success with others by teaching them the fundamental methods that are proven to help you grow. From power social media marketing to enhance your online presence, Royal Reputation is your foundation for success. Where Eric differs from other leaders is his ability to simplify the processes and communications for real, tangible results. Royal Reputation can also help your online public relations soar, and Eric can guide you in advertising and growing your brand. Outside of Royal Reputation, Eric remains highly accomplished in his fitness. His physical presence is a testament to his dedication to being the best version of himself. But what Eric is most committed is in his personal life. He is happily married and the proud father of 3 beautiful children. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor, say hello to Mr. Eric. I'm not even going to try and mess it up again.
Dang, man. That was one heck of
Hi.
a that was like, you made me sound way cooler than I absolutely am. That was awesome.
That's because I messed up your last name. All right, is it Grundhoefer?
It's Grundhoefer, so no ground. It's just Grundhoefer, but it's totally fine because my entire life in sports, like announcers announcing me coming on the field or anything like that, it's always been Groundhopper, Groundhumper, like all these terrible, like butchered. So you were like, it was fine. You were this close, but I'm used to it. It's totally fine.
Did you really get Groundhumper once?
All the time. I mean, kids, from adults that I don't think were thinking about it, but like they would just vaguely read it and like not even try any pronunciation. But Groundhoefer is what I get the most. And but yeah, like, so it's totally fine, man. It's not a big deal.
Now question. I just because now you brought in the Groundhumper thing. Did you ever, just to be passive, want to just drop to the ground and hump the ground after they said it?
100%. Like, I think I could say if I was like, when I was in my like early childhood, like 10, and I just got sick of it. And I was kind of like I went from being like a nerdy, overweight kid to then kind of people started to notice me when I was like a little more like outgoing and obnoxious. So I kind of lived in that life for about 3 or 4 years, from like 10 to like 14. And then I stopped liking being the center of attention at that point. But during those years, I absolutely remember like people saying stuff to me, and I would like actually drop to the ground and like do the worm, like you know, like,
that's awesome though.
Yeah,
I love that.
And it was just like more or less to diffuse, like, oh, you're not gonna make fun of me, I'm gonna make fun of me. So like let's do that.
I love that. Great mentality on that. So Eric, I read your bio. You're doing social media. You help people. Now, truth be told, your bio is like a fraction of what you really do. I went through your website. I stalked your Facebook page. I maybe creeped on your YouTube a little bit more than I should have. Awesome. But the thing is, I wanted to know you. I wanted to get to understand you. How did you get into being a social media guru like this? And why does it make? Why do we need this for success in today's business world?
Right. So I wish I was a guru. I honestly do. I feel like if I was a guru, I would have millions of followers like all these other influencers and things like that. The one thing I will say though is I've had great success using the small following that I do have on all these platforms. So when it comes down to it, what I really, really like doing, and like I wouldn't call myself a social media guru or expert, or, you know, I'm really, really good at building people's online presence and brands. But what it comes down to is I love content creation. I always have. I am a true, like, art has always been a big thing in my life. I was the kid scribbling and doodling in the background of like school when I was younger, constantly, but still paying attention. But that's how I like would focus. I would just be busy. My mind wanders. So it's like I always wanted to create things and do sketches and make funny commercials. And it took a really long time, up until the last 7 years of my life. It took a really long time to go, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not daydreaming. What I'm actually doing every day when I see when I like stop and I'm in a gaze and someone thinks I'm not paying attention, my brain's actually writing like sketches or creating content in my head. And I'm like coming up with ideas for things. So when I started writing those down and putting those into action, everything kind of really, really clicked. So, you know, people call it daydreaming. I'm sitting in there like watching, let's say, an old woman walk in. This is such a random, terrible thing to say, and I wish this never happened. But like, let's say an old woman walks in. For some reason, my brain goes, and I love comedy too. For my brain goes, oh my God, what if that woman just walked in and like someone, like another old lady just ran over and like tackled that woman that just walked into that store? Like, I know that that's terrible. I would never want that.
That would be hilarious.
But it would be, you would just, everyone in the store would be like, oh my God, what is going on right now? And like, so to me, just
do you remember that
having that thought, that's like, to me, I just wrote a sketch. I wrote something, a 15-second video that could go on TikTok that would be hysterical if two people dressed up as old women and that happened in that environment, because so my brain just does that all day. And I used to think, I was like, oh man, this is my ADHD. This is like a real problem. Like what's wrong with me? Why am I having these thoughts? And I'm just like, hey, once I owned it and was like really self-aware of this is totally normal for me, at least, not the old lady thing, but for writing sketches. And I think that's where stuff really kicked off.
I like the way you think. I like the way you think.
I know. Like, do you remember the Super Bowl commercial, Terry Crews back in the day? They were at the office, and anytime somebody did something out of the office, he would tackle them, and he was like a huge football player. That's what's going through my head as you're saying this. And I'm picturing I'm picturing my grandma walking into the grocery store.
Exactly. I mean, I grew up in the Jackass era too. So, you know, that was more of like a Jackass sketch. But then there's like other stuff that you see all the time. Like, I've never wanted to be the guy that was like, I had that idea before that person. Cause anyone can say anything about that. Cause if you don't put it into action, nothing matters. Right. So like everyone has also had all these ideas that are already into play. That's great. But you didn't do anything with it. So it doesn't matter. So I never want to be that guy who's like, I had that idea first. But I vividly remember being like 8 years old, having these stupid thoughts like this. And then as I got older, I'm seeing these things play out on TV and I'm going, that's bizarre. Like to the point where I'm like, am I on the Truman Show? Like, are people like watching me? Like, what's happening? Like I have that thought, like still to this day, sometimes with like, I have goosebumps right now. Cause I'm like, I have these ideas that I see come to light. So I'm either onto something. My brain is working like these high big creatives in Hollywood or wherever, you know, these really big influencers. And it's just about putting it into action. So I think I veered off topic and I apologize for that, but
that's okay. We have squirrels here all the time. Like we just call them out. Like, I am the H in ADHD. Yeah. So like when you're saying this, I'm sitting here going, I'm not looking at the screen. I'm looking everywhere else. That's just who I am, but I'm listening. And people will be like, Brandon's not paying. If you watch the comments, whenever a squirrel kicks in when I'm talking, you're going to see everybody start commenting squirrel just because I have them so often. So where are you located right now, Eric?
I'm in Tampa. I'm from Buffalo, born and raised. I moved here in April 2015. Business was already almost a year deep. We created it in Buffalo, but I started getting clients out here that were worth, 4 or 5 times the amount that I was getting in Buffalo. And I hate the snow. I've never been a person that likes the snow. Don't have a snow sport or anything like that. Get seasonal depression too, which is not good. So moving out here really changed my life. And like, I was like, dang, another thing that I'm not broken. It's just my environment. You know what I mean? Like this is really where you could flourish. And like when you're doing things that actually align with who you are, it always ends up working out. It's bizarre.
Man, you almost had me until you said you were from Buffalo and don't have a winter sport. That's just.
We played.
Man,
I played baseball. I played baseball, football. I love sports in general, but I used to not have any balance. I can longboard and surf out here, but I've never been like. I've always hated skiing and snow, and I like snowboarding, but I'm bad at it. I'm really, really bad, and I don't like being cold. Like, there's nothing. I would rather, that question that gets asked, like, would you rather freeze in the snow and die, or would you rather get burned alive in lava? Like, everyone's asking that question all the time. Burn me in lava immediately. Let it be done. I would go out like that, just screaming like, this is way better than snow. But man, Buffalo is always 6 to 8 months out of the year under snow, under 8. We had 8 feet of snow. They call it our November storm. I was trapped in my house for 8 days. We had electricity. We had food. My wife was very pregnant at the time. That was in 2014. I had to dig a little tunnel to let my dog out to go to the bathroom. And then that's when I kind of made the decision, like, I'm not doing this anymore. There's no way. And then I've never, I don't even want to go back and visit. Like, Tampa's so nice. The sky's always like the bluest sky you'll ever see. And a hurricane every now and then, never hurt anyone.
Never hurt anybody, didn't kill anybody. Close. I live in Minnesota, and I found things to do in the winter. One of my favorite things to do in the winter time is ice fish. Go out on a frozen lake and fish. So I stay plenty warm in my pop-up fish shelter and that kind of stuff. So maybe you just didn't have the right friends to introduce you to that stuff when you were up north.
I did. I know. Right. So they were all fishing. I grew up hunting and doing that stuff. And like, I don't know. It's like, I always felt like I was never, I wish I liked that stuff. My grandfather is a huge fisherman, and he's the best. He taught my older son how to fish when he was like 4, taught me how to fish. And I used to enjoy that stuff when I was little, and my friends kept doing it. And I just never, I like shooting guns. I like doing all that stuff, but I just never kept up with that kind of lifestyle. And I always gravitated towards like business or sports or working out and stuff like that. And they weren't super, my friends as we got older were into like, obviously into sports, obviously into fitness as we got older, but the other stuff, the hunting and fishing, that's kind of where I was always just like, I'm going to do my own thing. Yeah. But I love it. Like, it's fun. I just never kept doing it. It's weird.
So, with your business, what size company are you currently working with, and how do you prospect for those businesses?
We work with any size company, and generally, like right now, one of my biggest clients is it's a carpet store. I love them. I've been working with them for 7 years, and I handle all of their advertising needs. So I'm going in meeting with Spectrum, and I have a meeting today with Fox, and they have this giant $400,000 budget a year. And I'm going, this is where we're going to spend this. This is what we're going to do with these people. And then this is what we're going to do with the internet with me. And so they're a flooring store. They have 3 locations here in Tampa called NAFCO. And we work with anyone that just kind of has, I prefer like a $5,000 to $10,000 a month budget that we could play with and make sure we're getting an ROI, but that doesn't make sense for everyone. Like, I have a really small pest control client that's only getting like $80 every 3 months for a client. So him having a $5,000 budget doesn't make sense because the ROI would never be there. You know what I mean? So I do work with smaller people, but only because I've had them for the last 6 years, and I'm not about to fire anyone that I have a relationship with just because I all of a sudden want to start making more money, charging for different services and things like that. So we could work with small and medium-sized businesses that are just looking to get any like ROI with what they're doing.
So can I just jump in here and just explain ROI? So people who don't understand business, that is your return on investment, folks. That's the money that you put out for advertising dollars, whether it be $5,000, $10,000 a month, which is the budget that he said that he used as an example, but it's spending that money, and then what is your return on that money that you spend? So I just wanted to clarify that so people understand what we're talking about. Go ahead, Brandon. Sorry.
You are 100% okay. I'm glad you did that. You're here to help me, Dave, and you're the sexy one today. Remember that, all right? So, Eric, I have to ask, are you a Buffalo Bills fan?
I am, and this is, see, you guys are gonna roast me now again too. It's one of those things like hunting and fishing. You know, my grandfather's a diehard Bills fan. Every Sunday we used to get together and watch the games. My entire family, it was like a tradition, you know, and we do that. And I still like obviously root for the Bills, but I don't watch, since we've been here in 2015. I really don't watch any sports. I'm not the guy that shuts down on Sundays and only watches sports. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know, like I'm working enough, like morning, noon, and night, 6-7 days a week, where when I have that time off for like a Sunday, I'm trying to spend it with my family, trying to spend it with the kids, even though they would probably love watching football and would enjoy it. And like we play catch and play football and stuff all the time. I'm not a diehard anymore. And I think a lot of that went away with not being able to like watch it with my family and stuff like that in New York, you know?
I just had to ask because I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, and the Buffalo Bills fans, I'm only a diehard because my dad will text me the entire game and talk crap about the Browns the entire game. So I have to know some stuff going on. But like years ago, I just faded away from it. Like you were saying, my business became more of my priority. My personal self-development became more of my priority. And that's stuff that's hard to do. And for me, it's one of those things where I had to ask, because your Bills are playing great, but you're in Tampa with the Super Bowl champions. Yeah. So I was like, did you have to switch teams and all that? But you answered it in such a better way that I didn't have to go any other way. So with your company, you work with bigger networks, you're working with like Fox, you're working with things like that. Are you making them like TikToks? Are you making them videos where they're tackling old ladies in grocery stores? Like, how do you work with them in such a way that, like, because I'm a small business and we focus on providing a positive atmosphere for everybody and getting veterans and mental health and things like that. So for me, I'm curious, working with such big budgets, is it make it where you're able to get your creativity out, or is it completely their way, no other way type of thing? You stick to the Fox motto just because you use their name earlier.
So Fox, I apologize if I might have misspoke, because I talk really, really fast and I annoy myself sometimes. But so I don't work with Fox and I don't create them content. What I do for companies, like for instance, the flooring company or like a car accident attorney, is I'm managing their entire advertising budget. And along with that comes on that I'm a consultant for them, where when Fox and Spectrum come and they're like, hey, we're going to spend we want you to spend $150,000 on media with us, which is like commercials on Bay News 9 out here and all these other commercials. I'm representing my client, the flooring company or the car accident lawyer, and this Fox and all these Spectrum are trying to get our advertising dollars. And I'm like guiding them in this process of, hey, okay, that's great. They want you to spend $150 a year with them. But what did they get you last year? What was the ROI off that $150? Can they quantify any single lead that came from a TV commercial from this place or that place? And then you ask these people, and a lot of them, you know, I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying, look, we're in a different era, and you're going to get a lot of different demo. I don't watch TV. I watch Netflix and Hulu and stuff. That stuff. So I'm not seeing my own clients' commercials play out because I'm not watching where these people are. So I can just testify against that of Fox News and all these other places of, why are we running commercials in places where people aren't hanging out? Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. So like I can go, I got the phone to ring 77 times last month. I got 35 contact form submissions. I got 43 request estimates for a total of whatever those three numbers add up to. This is where my traffic was last month. This is where my traffic was this month. This is exactly what we did. This is what it cost you per lead with me. And then we can go back through, and then whoever you sold, I can go mine, because I have the data. TV can't do that. So I'm the guy that's now like, where traditionally these people would go and sell them on the idea of you need to be on TV or the idea that you need to be on radio. And I'm like, guys, it's 2021. Like that was really cool 5 years ago. Maybe. Does it still work a little? Maybe. But also, with all due respect, TV, radio, it's dying. Like it's, I would argue that it's dead, and you're just hanging on to the thought of it. And you're trying to maintain your book of business rather than worrying about what's better for the client. And that's the problem. So I'm now that buffer for a lot of my clients of, we're not going to do this. You're not going to charm your way and sell them on spending 150,000 with you when they can spend half of that with me and then get a very good, logical, data-driven ROI results, like with what's going on. So these people hate me. So I'm the opposite of On Fox's team, because I'm coming in, because I used to work in phone book back in the day. I used to work in radio. I don't have any experience working for actual TV, but like it's all the same TV spots and all these things for commercials. It's the same as radio. It's the same as all these other things. And all they're trying to do is maintain their actual book of business rather than worry about what's better for the client. And that's where traditional corporate advertising is really messed up. So I'm more of a boutique firm. I only want 20 to 30 clients that I'm the client facing side of these places, right? So I'm like, hey, I'm running it like I'm an attorney. I'm the attorney on the main, I'm your client facing side. I'm the customer service. I'm putting together the strategy. And then I have a small team of 10 that I'm delegating everything to. They're writing content. They're making videos. They're doing graphics. They're building websites. They're doing all these things. And then I'm going back to my client and go, look what we did. Like, are you happy? Like, okay, let's do this. We're going to keep your budget the same. We're going to increase it. We're going to move this here. We're going to move that there. So that being said, to answer your question, I am making TikToks and videos for clients. And the answer is sometimes it's my creative, depending on the brand. And sometimes it's exactly what the client wants. It depends a lot on, they all trust me, but also you have to think about the brand first and leave my emotional side out of it. Where I know, for instance, if I had an orthodontist and I have an orthodontist right now, and we just did a really traditional B-roll footage, the orthodontist talking in his brand new office that was just built, and it came out phenomenal. It's a beautiful video. It's going to absolutely get us clients. But if we would have done a funny video where the orthodontist maybe pulled a tooth or something and something happened and it was hysterical, that's going to go viral or get us some more stuff. So it's whatever the client allows the risk to take, what they're comfortable with the brand doing, how far they want to stretch it. But like with my brand, I have no problem doing that type of stuff. I have no problem making a really stupid video where I'm pretending to be Logan. It's a 13-minute video of nothing where I'm pretending to be Logan Paul and Jake Paul's older washed up brother. And I'm just a real big redneck and trying to do something stupid. So
are you just trying to get them to want to fight you? Because they seem to want to fight everybody. I'm just warning you.
They wouldn't fight me. My name's not big enough, but they would never fight me. And I'm also not the type that's going to try to pick a fight, like just by calling them names or this or that. I honestly, truthfully, the video that I did of that went nowhere. It was really funny. I don't really like my own stuff, but it was a really funny, well done documentary sketch video that was all improv. And like, that was what I was most proud of. And I tried to time it with one of the first boxing matches that they had. So when I released it, people were searching for that, and it did absolutely nothing. So I'm not like just winning all the time. Like it was so much money and time and effort for all of my team to have nothing happen, but it was so much fun. It was so much fun. And that's what I loved about it.
How large is your team?
We have a team of 10, okay. Some, graphic designer, website developer, some freelance writers, assistant, content strategist. But yeah, and interchange. Sometimes we'll go to like websites, like if anyone's listening, that's always looking for extra help, but not ready to hire an employee. I'll use Upwork a lot. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. Upwork's huge, not Fiverr as much. It depends on what I'm looking to do, but I think Upwork, the quality of work is like a little higher. Fiverr is great if you need like some quick deliverables. Like this morning, I was looking for someone to make me NFTs so I could put those up there. And I was like, okay, if I spend 2,500 on like 10,000 NFTs and then I post it and one of them goes for even 100 grand, I'm in a good spot there. so like now but that's like, it's like gambling, right? So like, I don't know if I'm going to do it.
Can you explain NFTs for the group?
Oh my gosh. There's a lot of different variations. So NFTs, non-fungible tokens. I wish I had a better understanding, but the graphics portion right now, even that is my understanding is a little shaky, but what I can do is I feel like I know the future of where this is going better than I know the current where this is, which sounds really backwards and stupid. But, so like, for instance, like I'm picturing the metaverse right now, and everyone's heard of the metaverse, right? You guys heard of the metaverse, of what's going on, like what Facebook's trying to do?
Yes, but if you want to explain, Facebook's changing their name to Meta and they're becoming a marketing company, correct?
So Facebook apps, WhatsApp, Instagram, all of the social media channels will stay the same, but the holding company is changing its name to just Meta for all of those other companies because it's more in line with what their brand wants to do. Right. So if anyone's seen the movie Ready Player One, which I don't know why people aren't using this as an example more, Ready Player One is phenomenal. And
yes,
it's amazing. Right. So it's going to be just like this. So I'll give you like a really like quick version of it. The metaverse and non-fungible tokens are going to be huge. So pretty much you're going to just be sitting at home. And instead of us talking in the camera right now doing this podcast, I would put on my VR glasses or my AR glasses and we would be in a room together. Digital versions of us being in a room together. And then if I brought up this, I'm wearing my own merch. I'm wearing Under Armour right now, but say I had my own merch on here and you guys go, oh man, you guys are all in the audience, a digital version of you in the audience rather than in the comments section right now. Now we're doing that stuff, right? And I mention I have merch for sale or a book or something like that. You guys go, ooh, that would be great. You guys go on there, grab it. You could try on a digital 2-scale version of the shirt that I have on right now and go, I want that. That would be great. Try it on your 3D version of, your hologram version of yourself. That works. You hit a button, boom, Amazon comes, drops it, drones it to your doorstep. Now you have the actual physical shirt that you just bought in the fake reality world that you're at right now. So like this is what NFTs are leading to. What I don't understand, I truly don't understand this. So I don't want to seem like I think I'm some NFT expert or crypto expert because I'm not. But what I don't get is the different variations of the NFTs right now, or why these little digital art pieces are selling for millions of dollars. Doesn't make sense to me. I can't grasp that. I don't get what you're going to do with it. But what I do know is an NFT, for everyone that's listening that doesn't even have an idea of it, it's basically just you owning the digital rights to something. And even if you screenshotted it, that's not you owning that JPEG. You don't have the data to own that, right? So you have a picture, it's a piece of art, you own that, the metadata says that you own that, and now it's yours. That's why it's valuable. And that's why this is a little different than just having a picture on your phone or something like that, if that makes sense.
It's like you created the digital version of Picasso or the Starry Night, something like that, and you own that compared to, and then it doesn't matter where it goes digitally. Somebody could screenshot it, like you said, but you owned the actual, like, painting, the drawing, whatever it may be. I was at an event where the guy had, you could pick which NFT you wanted, a gorilla or a lion, and it moved right next to you. But every time somebody like tagged them, they'd get paid for that NFT being out there. And they were using it to help the World Wildlife Federation. So it was like really kind of a cool, unique thing. But these NFTs are huge. And you getting in there now, who knows? You might get one that becomes a future Pokemon, and then all of a sudden you're in the Pokemon world. And I'm not a Poke dude, but like, it's just funny to me because it has a whole nother realm. 2 years ago, I don't quote me on if I'm right on this. I don't remember who the artist was. I want to say Travis Scott because he's in trouble right now with everything he did with his concert recently. But he did a digital one on Twitch. And it might not have been him, but they did a digital one. They had over 1 million people show up digitally to watch his concert. And they paid for tickets, and he was just in like his own house rapping, doing his thing, and everybody just paid to come in and sit there like an audience and watch. And that is the future. Ready Player One has a lot of things that you could see coming about and being brought into this. How do you see the digital world, even with the Meta being the new Facebook stuff and everything like that? How do you see that influencing your business and you staying ahead of the curves on this?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of what I said too, like we know where we're at now. And just like, what I think's funny about that exact thing is I'm still having conversations to this day with businesses that we were having. I've been in this industry for 10 years, right? My first business was a personal training firm. I did all the marketing for that. I left, and then I started working for a large marketing company called Hearst Media. And then I went and worked for the direct competition. Then right after that, I started my own. So I've been doing this for a while. on Facebook, Instagram, all this stuff. The funny thing about that is I'm still having conversations to this day that I had in 2011, 2012, 2013 with people,
Really?
trying to stress the importance of social media and why it works, because they think like a lot of things I do, running ads, running, doing search engine optimization, a lot of those things, you can prove that ROI that I just mentioned. You can still prove ROI with Facebook, specifically Facebook ads and stuff like that. But mainly what it's for is the organic posting and the organic portion of it, to show off your company culture, to show off your brand, to create as much value for people up front as possible, and to market to them and be there for them. So when they do make a purchase decision down the road, they remember you because of the information and the value that you got them. That's what it's for now. So people have a hard time quantifying, like, spending money on it, because they're like, oh, I can't do this or that, even though you could still see where they came from when they do make that decision. So I'm like, guys, social media is important. They're like, oh, Eric, I don't know. So the second you're having that conversation, that person already doesn't get it. And I'm kind of past trying to convince them that they should leave their phone book ads now and then start doing social media. So this to me is like a really cool opportunity to start getting a little bit ahead and start explaining, hey, this is where this is going. This is what we want to do. Like, eventually you're going to be able to sit in a room. Like, for me, the podcast portion is going to be cool. I have my own podcast, and I want to be able to have that audience around me. I want to be able to have all that so people in real time can see what's going on. And then you can interact with people as often as possible. So I'm just like excited explaining all that stuff to all these different people. Oh man, that's me. Wow, that I got to change that picture. I can't hear you.
What do you mean you have to? I'm just laughing. Like, I'm in my head going, what do you mean you need to change that picture? You have a great head of hair. You're sitting. Look at this. You're sitting on that chair, and you saw I just gave you another one. But like, you have a great head of hair. You have a great sun hair. The actual advice from some of the most successful people in the world. And I love how you're doing this. Like, you're instilling positivity onto people and making them believe in themselves. But my thing is, what picture are you wanting to change, my friend? Because that is a great picture of you, and I wish I had that kind of head of hair.
No, I just don't like, I don't know. I just don't like pictures of myself anyways, even though like I take a lot of them. It sounds silly. I just like the portion of taking them, like being like, I'm not like trying to be a model. I just like enjoy taking the photos and then editing them, putting them in something cool, and then putting them, making the graphics for them personally. So that's the stuff I really enjoy.
I like that. I like that.
Going back to these big businesses that, that you have these same conversations that you've had with them, let's say even 10 years ago, about the way that they advertise TV and newspaper and the phone book as far back as it goes. Is it because those people aren't keeping up with times, and they have the same person that's been in the same job for 20, 30 years and they're stuck with the good old boy way, and not keeping up with the latest and greatest in technology? And if you're seeing that, can you speak to how that's crippling their company? Because I've seen that a lot in my circle of friends and things like that, and how people in those positions really do more damage than good to your company when it comes to spending your advertising dollars and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a combination of a couple different factors. Like, I feel like a lot of times, like, so I actually when we started, we were like really more on the digital, like, media side. So meaning like we were SEO, social media marketing, and building websites. Now we still do all of those things, but I've niched down way more specific, because everyone and their brother now is building a website and calling themselves a digital media expert and all these other things. So like, it's a couple different things where they've been burned by companies before. For instance, I'll go on record and say it now, that company that I worked for, Hearst Media, that I was telling you, like, after I sold the personal training firm and went and worked for them, not only did they have a terrible company culture, they did absolutely nothing for people, and they're still doing absolutely nothing for people, which is why a lot of those clients are jumping over to me or other people that they actually trust, right? So now their competition was Town Square Interactive. Great company culture, amazing. Never treated their employee. I've never seen a place treat their employees better, and I have never had so much fun working for a company. Product wasn't as great. That's where I saw the white space. So a lot of these times is people have tried something for a year. They bought into whatever the sales rep that sold them on the idea is telling them, And then after they spend, let's say these smaller companies are spending $500 to $1,000 a month. After they spend $6,000 to $12,000 a year, they're like, they got no ROI. They didn't, they weren't, after they were sold and the person was on them all day, every day, you don't hear from the person again. They don't get the level of service that they were promised. So people are over promising and under delivering, which is why I started what I'm doing, because it's very easy to win and retain clients. I've had clients for 6 years. You be super transparent, you set expectations properly, and then you do all that stuff, right? So it's a combination of a few different things why people are stuck in their old ways, because phone book did work eventually. But when they made the jump to switch to internet stuff, 10 years ago, they were like, nothing happened. And then now they're scared because they tried it once 10 years ago and nothing happened. And that's super unfortunate. But now they're scared to spend another 6,000 to 12,000, which probably they're going to spend more now because it's not prices from back in the day. Right. So that's one of the biggest things. And then the other thing is just stuck in their own ways, of they personally don't use Facebook. They personally don't go on people's websites, and they're going based off of how them as a person searches on the internet or doesn't search on the internet, or what they do to look for things. So they think that no one else, that they can't get out of their own bubble, and they think that no one else is doing anything different. Now I do that. I'm 32 years old. But I can also resonate with a lot of other 32-year-olds that search the way I do. But when you're a 58-year-old plus business owner, you can't really go, I want new business and I want all this stuff, new business, and all you're going off of what the things that you do. You know what I mean? Right. So there's a slightly difference when you're looking at the age demo there too. Again, that depends on what business you have. If your demo is 58 years old, you're going to have a better insight into that directly. But I can assure you, my mom, my grandparents, like all these people are still on Facebook and using these things. So could it be that you're a little wrong? Yes. Could it be that maybe you should try this and maybe it'll actually work? Yeah. But you're going to need to also give it time. So people don't want to wait 6 months for something to happen. They want instant results, which there's certain things you could do for instant results and certain things that you need to do time for. You need to put in the time and the effort and lay the groundwork to do that.
So some of these smaller to middle-sized companies too, you being the owner of the company, you don't have time to do all that research and stuff because you've got other things that you're working on. Your employees, you're working whatever product you have, facilitating all of that stuff. So that, you don't have time to keep up with the current trends in advertising unless your company is about advertising and about advertising dollars. That's the piece that I would see would be the hardest to get through, is to get through that mindset of this is what used to work. And I get that you understand that, but even people in my generation, and I'll speak for myself, I'm in my 50s. I know where the future is for advertising, and I spend time on the internet researching it. You need somebody in your organization that keeps up with that stuff for you to stay there. So I think that it's key to get to that conversation and be able to share that this is where world's happening right in front of your face every day. It's changing, and it changes so fast, especially when you're coming to, like, TikTok showed up. Now people are using TikTok videos. I mean, just to stay up with what's going on and stay current and stay in front of people's eyes so that they can see that you're there. You got to stay with those types of trends.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. And I was just laughing because I love TikTok. And if you actually look, TikTok, I've jumped on TikTok later. Organic reach on TikTok, for everyone that's listening, that's trying to grow a brand or anything, it's still insane. I posted for 30 days in a row, and I went from 0 followers to 5,500 followers on TikTok. I mean, there's plenty of people that are crazy. And this is even funnier. None of my TikTok content is business related, like a lot of my other pages. And I was like trying to really go what niche I want, right? I just restarted my Instagram because it's so convoluted that I was not watching growth happen and all these other things. So I like restarted a brand new Instagram to really just go business niche and business inspiration and help entrepreneurs like with that way. So I have like 65 followers on there, but all my content on TikTok is me roasting my wife. It's literally just me ripping on her, saying like, she's in on a lot of the bits, and then sometimes it's like,
Sure.
I don't do pranks
Sure.
or anything like that. We're not huge prank people, but a lot of it's just like something will pop into my head and I'll walk up and you'll see first person me saying something to her and then just listening to her response. And people are obsessed with it. Or like my son was in the bathroom for a little too long. So I did a spoof on, I started singing to him and it went viral. I got like 1.2 million hits or something like that. Off of me singing to my son. It's like, it's been a long day. and people like went wild. It was, I have so much fun on TikTok, and the community there is absolutely amazing. And you can actually make friends online there, and like people that actually like support you and like the content that you're like creating. So if you guys want to grow really, really fast right now, reels on Instagram and TikTok videos, just go super niche. Pick a niche that down even, and you guys will grow tremendously.
What is your TikTok? I'm going to share that for everybody.
Uh,
It's I think it's just Eric Grundhoefer, like all my other stuff.
Eric Grundhoefer. Got it.
You should
But
start
yeah,
one.
oh my
You
God,
should
it's
start
fun.
one, Eric Groundhumper.
And all you do is go around and hump the ground.
That's it.
Yes.
And everyone's like, wow, this content's bizarre.
Like, who is his target market?
I have to follow him. I got to see this guy try to do the worm at 32 years old.
I think you should start a challenge. Like, everybody has to be able to do the worm, but it's who's the oldest that can do the worm. And
Yeah.
when you get 100-year-old out there, just like woo, woo, they win, like right off the bat, being in their hundreds.
Do the ground humper challenge.
To the Grundhoefer challenge. Oh yes, I love it. TikTok though, a lot of people like. All right, so I'm asking a question. This is not me stating anything because I suck at TikTok and I have ideas on there. And when I put these ideas up there, like I want to teach men how to like have boundaries with their wives. Like, okay, it's not hard to put the toilet seat down. Wear some fuzzy socks. And then when you drip on the toilet seat, just wipe it with your socks so you don't have to do much and kick the seat down as you walk away. Something silly like that. Like just dumb little things, wearing a onesie and then turning around and making a joke about the onesie and stuff like that. Like we're all unicorns and all that. And then I'm walking around poking people in public with my horn and be like, do I make you horny, baby? Stuff like that. Like it just be randomness. But like every video I've ever posted gets like 3 views and I think all 3 are my mom. Like, how did you be able to make it grow? I mean, you said you posted for 30 days straight and you had your niche. Let's use my idiocracy to be able to say, how can I make that grow? I make people laugh. My niche would be comedy to men that are trying to find a better way in their life. How do you niche that?
Yeah, so I would even niche that. So that's a niche in itself. So like that's kind of like my entire thing. I can do this really easily for people and help them grow, but I have such a like when I'm so close to myself and I've involved in so many things, it's like, well, I'm interested in fitness. Well, I'm interested in business. Well, I'm an entrepreneur. Or I'm a husband, I'm a father. So it's like I had to really focus and pick one thing. And like, so whatever came natural to me on that was starting to post just me saying ridiculous stuff to my wife. But what I noticed was, so I'm going to get back to like your niche. I would take that and then niche it down even more. So really what it is like husband stuff, right? So now we just went from comedy and like stuff like that to now we're down to comedy for husbands, right? And like, so now that's a niche in itself. So that's what I mean, niche down. And then you keep creating stuff like that. The problem with a lot of people is it's also the stuff that you're following that will make your account think that you're maybe interested in something else. So like right now, I'm following a lot of like comedy stuff and it kind of falls in line with what you're consuming has to also kind of be what you're putting out. So TikTok kind of gives that vibe of this is what this account's all about, right?
Okay.
So you kind of need to follow people in that space. But I was following like a lot of different stuff. Like I wasn't following comedy per se. I was following a lot of people in the music industry or like John Mayer because he's hysterical, or like on TikTok, like, or all these other people that are doing all these things. And it wasn't related to my niche. So I started following people that were doing kind of similar things to what I was doing, just in a different way. And then I started only posting stuff about that because I would notice I would post a video of me saying something to my wife, like one of my favorites, and it didn't go crazy viral or anything. I don't remember how many numbers, but it was like I was like, hey, babe, you know how you're always on me and you could only see me. I was like, you know how you're always on me for not finishing projects and stuff? And she's like, yeah. She's like getting ready in the bathroom. And I was like, you know what's weird is like you do my laundry all the time, but like you don't put it away. You not finish the project every day. And then she runs over and she tackles me in the bed. And like that end of video, right? So like, but that piece of content started becoming like, that's where I was like, oh my God, people just want me to say kind of obnoxiously true stuff to my wife. That's like,
that's funny.
Like proving the man point. So then I do that, or I do something like with my son, who's my middle son is 6. And this dude's he wants to be, you know, on TV. He's a star. He's a little rock star. He sings, he does all these dances. But it's just me and him just being silly with each other too. So it's kind of like a father-husband niche that I have on mine. But when I posted a sketch of something, there's like a character that I have where you put that one stupid filter on your face. And I have a character called like Dr. Eddie. And it's like like when peak Corona was happening and I was going all about talking about coronavirus and Dr. Eddie knows what to do. And it's like, oh, these doctors are forcing you to take this coronavirus. They're like being a little too hostile and going on and on and on. Those videos flopped. I put 3 hours into every single one of those videos and they flopped because my niche was roasting my wife for 30 minutes.
I love how you caught yourself there. Was just ripping apart my wife. Yeah, roasting my wife.
Roasting my wife. My bad. You know. With those, what's even funnier though is like those Dr. Eddie videos. There's like a 6-part series that people are like, I cannot believe this didn't go anywhere. And I'm like, no, it's because if I would have created a new account right now and only go to stupid sketches, maybe that would do something, which I still might do. But those were so much more fun for me to make, even though the other people like the other stuff. You know what I mean? So it's just, you have to stay in your niche and in your element. And then once you get big enough, once you're at like 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 followers, whatever, and you've created a community around this stuff, then you start giving tidbits of things that you want to do. Then you can open and expand because you've already built like a semi portion of the audience where people want, like, now you're not really focused on growth. You're focused on serving your community. And that's what you want to do. Yeah.
Have you ever done an OnlyFans?
No. I'm
dying. The face.
I'm dying laughing. I just saw someone comment, ripping apart your wife as content for a different kind of platform. And then you mentioned OnlyFans. I was like, no, we have not done an OnlyFans. I have no intention to. I almost got on a Netflix show. And one of the first questions that they asked you was, like, I made it to the final auditions of it. And one of the first questions they asked you in the final audition was, do you have an OnlyFans? And then I realized at that moment, I realized how incredibly like lucky I am that I didn't try to go that route. Cause when I train for a physique competition, so I could have been like, let's see if I can make any money posting shirtless videos or shirtless workouts or whatever. Let's see what happens. Who cares? But they won't take you on stuff like that if you have an OnlyFans, which is crazy. So, I mean, also though, if I was doing that and say I was making millions, do I really care at that point about just from posting shirtless workouts? Do I really care about not getting on?
How does your wife feel about that? About you just doing posted, like women are paying you to take your shirt off and work out and you're getting paid for it. Do you think she'd care? The same would go if she had an OnlyFans. Would you be okay with that? I
told her, I was like, you're not getting an OnlyFans. But I was like, if you want to get an OnlyFans and sell pictures of your feet, let's do it. I was like, I will be the foot photographer. Go ahead. I'm not into feet. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's people that are paying millions of dollars for pictures of people's feet. And I was like, let's dress up these slutty ass ankles and show these things off. Let's make some money. Like, yes! Like, come on. I was like, ankles down? That's it? Like, let's do it. I'll freaking go buy you some socks right now. Like, let's figure it out.
Right? I think that's hilarious. Like, let's get you. Have you seen, oh my gosh, it's the one that's got Steve Buscemi in it now, Miracle Workers.
No.
Oh my God. You have to see the show. You're making jokes like, what's the one guy's name? The guy who played in Lord of the Rings, the main guy. Whatever, I can't think of his name right now, but he is in that, and he plays a pastor in the season 3. Every season is Elijah Wood. Yes, that's right. High five. Boom. Good job, Eric. He turns around and every season is something different, but they're doing miracles, and they're actually making fun of stuff. It's hysterical. And in the last one, he's a preacher, and he's so obsessed with this girl. He goes, "Look at your ankles. Oh, my God. Oh, it makes me so hot." And I'm just dying because I'm picturing his face doing that. And I'm like, God, that's funny.
It's hysterical, man.
You have a great personality for this. Shut up, feet pics. Who knew? Ladies and gentlemen, there is our newest challenge. Everybody create your own OnlyFans and start a foot fetish page. The one who gets the most subscribers and starts getting paid, congrats. You're going to be the next funder of Delight Cafe.
Yeah, amazing.
Where do I sign up? So we only have time for 2 more questions, one from me, one from David, and then we're going to take it into the goodbye part where we do positive speaking and all that. So it went fast, Eric, doesn't it? Like, it's fun,
No, it really
it's entertaining. Does. So that's what we love about this. I love getting people out of there because you came in with a good energy. And when you get certain people, they come in and it's like breaking. It's almost like they're a glow stick. We got to crack them to make them shine, you know?
Yeah.
So it's one of these things that I love how you're doing this in such a great way and you're bringing this positive stuff. I forgot to I haven't seen all the movies, Pantsu. Do you know what Pantsu means in Japanese? I learned this the other day. Like, it's not panda. It's Pantsu.
No. What is it?
It means panty dropper.
Oh, God.
I had no idea. And I had to ask him. I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, it means panties. Panty dropper is what they call me. And I'm like, oh my God. And he laughed so hard telling me. I loved it. But send me the comments of the movies. I didn't see them, buddy. My fault. Squirrel. So Eric, what do you do for Eric to keep yourself going in a positive direction? Because you moved away when you saw the negatives that the seasonal depression gives you. You moved your business. You've taken, and you have 3 wonderful kids and a wife that likes you to pick on her. Like, I'm looking for that, just without the 3 kids.
Yeah.
What is your way that? Yeah, at least make them my own. I mean, I'm 38, might be a little late for that, but so like, what do you do to keep Eric headed in the best direction for not just you, but to instill that into your kids?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that. And I'm always been a transparent guy. I really wish I was like so rock solid with a routine like these bigger players that you guys hear about, and that I was like, this is how you do it, guys. Here's ABC. But the truth is, on a daily basis, like, I'm really have to stay super focused on what I'm doing to like maintain happiness and to maintain, like, I have to be in a routine. And it's if I veer off, it takes a little bit for me to come back. And I don't know if that's how everyone is. And maybe that's not the best answer, but I know that I'd say about 80% of the time, I feel like I'm doing it right. And then the other 20% might be maybe me being self-conscious, maybe being me, I could push better. I could do more. But that's truthfully how it is. So I think the best thing that's worked out for me is working out does a lot for me. It does a lot for my confidence. It does a lot for all these things. And then, as you said, moving and creating this business. And I have a second business that's opening in December 2015, December 15th, 2015. That was ridiculous that I said that. December 15th, and it's called Royal Nutrition. It's a protein bar and lounge. Picture a bar and lounge that you've been to, and then this isn't a plug. This is me just giving an example. Picture a bar or lounge you've been to, and it's the same gimmick of you walk up and I'm pouring you a shot, only it's aloe or apple cider vinegar. And then I'm giving you, instead of beer, I'm giving you kombucha. And instead of cocktails, I'm giving you protein drinks. And I want music cranked, and I'm creating a healthy environment. And we're going to have people like actual bartenders there, prepped meals, like all this stuff. And it's right by a gym. So like I do all these things. Like working out is like the core of making myself better. And it's through time that it's proved that I'm like historically right with the businesses and things like that. Cause I have naturally, just from my parents and my upbringing and my friends at the time growing up, I almost have zero self-confidence. And then at the time, and then building as I go, as business gets better, as I make a move and it works, as I do this, what I'm realizing is my instincts have always been there. My instincts are always right. And that gives me the self-confidence that I need to be historically right. And then every time it's like I level up, right? So the working out keeps me focused, keeps my mind clear, keeps me happy. Showing my boys that, hey, this is what you have to do. Because I grew up, my parents never even said the word gym or fitness or count your macros or eat healthy. So like that's all they're hearing now and seeing every single day of me doing that. And my wife does that stuff as well. And then they're constantly seeing me working and creating and building in between, following my passions and doing all these things. Like I have music on Amazon and Spotify. I got really bored in 2020. Guys, this is, again, not me plugging. The songs are cool, and it's like some weird rock version of stuff. And I did really good, and I learned how to sing and made all my own music and produced it and put it on there. I did that because my oldest son, who's 11, and he was like 9 at the time, said, wouldn't it be cool if we had music on Spotify or this or that? And I said, you can do it. And he said, no, you can't. And I said, watch me. And I did it. And like literally 2 months later, I taught myself how to use GarageBand, how to sing, how to create music that I would have been comfortable with people hearing. It took a while. And then I put it out there, wrote the lyrics and put it out there. And I was like, dang, now is the music going anywhere? No, but he saw that I went and did all that stuff. And he was like, this is crazy. And like, they actually listen to my music sometimes. Like he has an iPhone and he's like listening to my music, and it's bizarre. But so these are the things that I'm trying to instill in him, is hustle, grind, and most importantly, confidence, but being just truly happy with what you're doing. And in order to be happy and, follow your dreams and follow your passion, that you have to make sure that you're okay and make sure that like your mental and physical health is where it needs to be able to do those things for other people, if that makes sense. Awesome. There's a really long answer. I'm sorry. I ramble. You got to cut me off next time.
You're not any different. You're not any different than the two of us. We can ramble. You should come see our shows. Come see my show, the Victor Tango Show. You'll see us ramble about veteran issues and stuff like that. Eric, I want to thank you for being here, but I do want to ask one question. And my question for you to run down the end of the show before we all say goodbye is, what's the most important piece of advice that you could give someone, whether they're 21 to 55, that has an idea of starting their own business, their own venture? What would be the best piece of advice you could give them from all the struggles that you've gone through of getting started? What would that be?
Execute immediately. Fail as you do it, because you're going to start. You're going to fail. You're going to start. You're going to fail anyways. Whether you got the best idea and you think you have it mapped out and the timing's perfect and you have this and this is set up and you did this and do that, the second you start executing immediately, you're going to fail anyways, whether you think it's perfect or not. You just have that comfort wrapped up in your head that you did it the right way, that you're going to be setting yourself up for the least amount of failures, which is just, I'm sorry, it's just not going to be true. So fail fast, fail forward, and then just keep like putting it in action and execute immediately, because the faster you do that, the faster you're going to succeed too. Right. So like I talked about the couple brands that I have now that are really successful, but I didn't talk about the 6 brands that I built for myself before this that were complete failures, So like, you just have to keep doing it and figure out your niche. Like I'm 7 years into this and I'm finally figuring out a cadence to what to do and how to build these other side hustles and how to do all these other things. And maybe people are doing it faster than me, and that's great. I'm not perfect and I'm not the most amazing person. I'm just saying, like, everyone's going to do it your own way. But the fastest thing I'm happy that I did, the only thing that I have going for me is I'm opposite of my friends that are from back home in Buffalo that, hey, I have an idea for an app, or hey, I have this. And then 6 months goes by and they're saying, oh man, we should have made that one app. Wouldn't that have been cool? I'm the guy that makes the app. I'm the guy that goes and builds the business the day after I had the idea and then figures it out there. And then how are we going to make money from this immediately? And also too, like for the younger generation, like 20s, going after funding is great. But yes, what's really cool is like doing it, bootstrapping it like I did. I'm not saying, well, just like me, you'd be like me and that's cool. I'm saying like, you don't need seed money. $1 million is great in funding, but you can also do it yourself without, depending on the business, without having to put all your time, energy, and effort to get that $1 million of funding. Put all that time, energy, and effort into selling whatever your product is or your service and doing that and get that money that way. And then go after the funding as you're already built up and you're already profitable. And I think a lot of people now are like, I need to create something and get seed money and do this. And that's their goal, which is complete opposite of how business really is, which is like, just do the business, just do the business and you'll be fine. So like, that's what I would say. So like, short answer, execute, because there's never going to be a right time. There's never going to be a right time, and force yourself to level up.
Love it. Love it.
I do too. Action cures most fails, because you are moving forward and a moving target is faster to your goals. Well said, Jaybird. I like that too. I read that and I'm like, I got to share that. So I shared all of your links again. I didn't get to show your webpage. I want to show that really quick for everybody, just because I feel bad. I almost forgot to do that. Let's go to the top so everybody knows. What city is that you're like skying over there?
That is the city of, I bought a $50 Adobe stock video, and no one needs to know what city that is. I have no idea.
Okay, because I think it's Dubai. I literally think it's Dubai.
I was going to say Dubai. I honestly was. I'm pretty positive it is Dubai, but I typed in cool aerial video, and that's what popped up, and I was like, sold.
Perfect. Boom. In. Done. Because I like it. And I'm like, I have to ask. Because I usually know cities very quickly. And that one I was like, I'm not 100%. So, guys, this is his website, his Facebook, his Instagram. All of the links are right here. Clicked on there. Don't hesitate to click on them. And thank you guys for being here with us. Now, the way we end every show is we speak positivity out to the world. Now, Dave isn't usually my guest host. She's in South Africa, and they're doing load sharing right now, which means 2.5 hours every day. Whenever she doesn't expect it, they completely turn off all the electricity. So it sucks, and I feel bad for her, but she's there, and I was blessed to be able to have Dave with me today. I had him all day. He runs our Victor Tango show, and he's got the show tonight. So I'll go first. Dave will go second, speaking of positive vibes out for everybody. And then Eric, you're going to close out the show today. That means you can read your favorite quote. That means you could tell everybody, like, hey, wives, don't forget to fold and put the laundry away. Whatever your thing is, have fun with it and bring us that positive vibe like you've done the whole show. All right?
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Hey, thanks for having me, by the way. This is amazing. I've had such a good time. Like, you guys are positive vibes since I started, so thank you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, brother. Thank you. So, seriously, I go to Tampa once a year. I'm going to be in Orlando. It's supposed to be January or February. I forget. I'm headed to Universal Studios for some stuff. And I'll have to, you and I, as soon as this show's done, I'll have to email you my information so you and I can actually connect, you know?
That'd be great. Yeah, let's get
I love that. All right, so here's how this goes. Boom. Come on, internet. There we go. So, guys, what a great episode today. Eric Grundhoefer is just 1 in a million. I'm glad he laughed. He's in the back laughing. So, guys, I want to be able to say that no matter who you are, no matter what you do, if you put your positive twist on yourself, this is just like Eric was explaining with business. You have to put the work in. Put the work in to yourself. Change the fucking world by starting with you. Don't look at what everybody else is doing wrong and comparing ourselves. Don't look and compare who is doing things that you think is right and you think is wrong. Look in the mirror. Start with yourself and love yourself in such a way that others want to know why you are so amazing, because you love yourself that much.
Folks, today's show with Eric was definitely inspirational on all levels of business and success. What I would like to throw in there as positivity and words of wisdom are, you'll notice if you're trying to make a move in life with a business or a book or just trying to do better for yourself, that you'll never find somebody who is doing better than you look back and criticize you. You'll always find the people that criticize you are the people that aren't doing as well as you, and they want to be where you're at. Do things to stay where you're at and keep looking forward. Do daily self-care, whether it be go for a walk, working out, meditating, whatever that might be, to help you get in peace with yourself, get in a mindset of loving yourself first, because you can't do anything with your business, with your life without loving yourself first and taking care of yourself first. I want to say thank you to Eric for coming out today. We really loved your show. Great energy, and we had a lot of fun. And go out there and change the world, everybody. Bye.
David, Brandon, thank you so much for having me. Like, this is really awesome. I've honestly can say that I've not had this much fun being a guest on a show. So just really appreciate both of you and what you're doing and the positivity that you guys are bringing. So just to kind of piggyback off of both of the things that you guys are saying, I really, as I shed some light on depression and stuff, seasonal depression and entrepreneurship, there's a lot of depression in general. There's a lot of highs and a lot of lows. So, you know, to go off of your guys' point, you do have to take care of your mindset first, which is exactly the reason why my mascot, why I chose this lion. Like, so I have another company again called Royal Nutrition, Royal Reputation. You'll see behind me, I have a giant lion tattoo on my leg. And to me, that's just a symbol. It's a symbol. It's not, oh, royal, I think I'm king. It's king of the jungle. Be the king of your jungle. So like everyone's like, why a lion? Well, I love that the lion's the king of the jungle. Why is he the king of the jungle? He's not the biggest. That's the elephant, right? He's not the fastest. That's the cheetah. You know, he's not the strongest. That's the gorilla. The lion, it's his mentality, right? So it's his mentality that makes him the king of the jungle. So you guys have to, you know, make sure that you're protecting your mindset the most. And that includes cutting out negativity and toxic people from your life if you need to, even if they're family members. I know that I've just recently done this and I'm still going down the list. And I can honestly say it's been a weight off my shoulders. So do the things you have to do to protect yourself. And it's going to only make you guys better. So again, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate you. And I hope you guys have a great day.
Brandon, you're
so I'm getting used to my buttons. It's only been doing this for a little bit now. So guys, I need to ask both of you one last question. What is your favorite movie?
Oh man, that's a loaded question. That's like asking you what your favorite song is, which is also what genre? Comedy.
How about that?
Ooh, I can go in a lot of different routes.
Bring it.
Comedy, I'm going to go classic, and I'm going to say right now Step Brothers, but I know I'm going to get off this and regret that decision for the next 8 hours. I'm going to think of 6 more videos that I saw.
That's a great choice. And Dave?
Going the distance.
Going the distance. I don't know that one.
I don't know that one either.
That's the race car movie.
Nope.
Okay, I have no idea.
It's a relationship movie of a couple that meets in a date for a short period of time, and then they separate to two sides of the country, and they try the long distance relationship thing. And so it's hilarious.
So I'm going to spin the wheel. Our Discord channel, we're going to do a movie night this Saturday, and both of your suggestions ended up in there. I hope you're ready for this. This is the last thing we're doing of the day, guys. Boom. Let's spin it. And the movie we're watching on Saturday is, Avatar.
It's still solid. They're making a part 2. It's happening.
I have not been able to sit through the entire movie of Avatar. My ADHD kicks in heavily. I sit there and I'm like, oh, these are fun. I feel like I need some psilocybin mushrooms to get through that whole movie.
Oh yeah,
like
a little bit of THC. Like you'll be fine.
Yeah, I own a weed company, so I mean I should be able to do that. You know,
yeah,
like
you'll be fine.
You have a little bit of this, and you might enjoy your show. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I love it, guys. Thank you so much. How do we find the Discord channel? It is Panda Sue is going to share the link right now, and I will click it in here. I'm going to hit the last commercial of the day. Eric, if you need to go, I understand we're over on time. Dave, please put your penis away before we get to the end of the show. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, guys. Have a great one, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, my name is Brandon, and over the past year, the Delight Cafe team and I have traveled across the U.S. researching this rapidly growing industry of CBD products. What we have found throughout the industry were products that were inconsistent in dosage and used ingredients that weren't even lab tested. Products with chalky textures, bitter aftertaste, and worst of all, confusion among the CBD consumers. That's why we created Delight Cafe. A 15 milligram, lab tested, all natural, water soluble, Hemp CBD powder pack. It's odorless, colorless, and tasteless. Add it to your favorite drink of choice, wherever, whenever, on the go. Quickly find your calm, your balance, and your delight when you need it most.
So I don't see the link up there, and I know Pam Sue shared it earlier, and I wanted to be able to copy and paste it. If anything, I'll bring it on tomorrow, guys, and make sure it's the first thing. I'll have it scrolling across the bottom because we're going to do a movie night on the Discord channel to connect with everybody. All right, guys. Bye, Dave.
Peace.